Traders, stock market enthusiasts, investors, and day traders from around the world. My name is Jeremy Alexander Newsome, and I'm your master of the moving averages, your captain of the charts, your sergeant of the stochastics. And today I'm here to discuss and talk about a trade setup that a trader did in the past. Every single Friday, my goal is to dive in and look at some specific analysis that another trader, not me, but someone else in the real life trading community took, traded, either profited from or lost from. And our goal is to learn from their trade, take some tidbits, take some knowledge, figure out why, where, when, and apply that to our trading. So let's dive in. This video is entirely free. There's zero sales pitch, and you will love it. Of that, I can assure you. Click that red subscribe button down there. Follow me. Let's make magic together. Rock. Hey traders from around the world. It's me, Jeremy Alexander Newsome, and this is your Friday trade review. Hope you're doing spectacularly splendid. Let's dive in, and we're going to be looking at a trade that my good friend, Mr. John Salvio, placed. John is in the New York City area, in Queens, I believe, and I'll be seeing him next week when I'm up at the Benzinga Trading Summit on June the 20th, which is next Thursday. So he'll be there. He'll be in attendance. So if you want to meet him and you're coming, that's going to be your chance. John, let's go look at it. So we chat pretty frequently. I actually just got off the phone with him. And I want to show you his trades and just kind of show you his charts and then kind of go through it and talk about it. So let's go look at AMD. And here it is. So this is the part that we're going to kind of analyze. So this is AMD. So we're going to zoom in. And what's interesting is you'll notice his bearish limit buy initially was 30.55 and his stop loss was 31. So we're dealing with a nice easy number to calculate. So we're talking 45 cents. And the way he played it was when the stock broke the bullish candle, all right, stock broke down. So he had a bunch of bear candles in a row. So 1, 2, 3, 4 bearish candles in a row. And as we know that if we get three or more, realistically, bearish candles in a row, that you don't want to take the breakout there. And that's what some traders did do, is actually, not real life traders, of course, but I saw some people on Twitter talking about AMD, and that's where they got in, is down here at this $30.39 mark. But you really want to catch that retest because it was a retest gap after all. So you want to play the pullback. So John gets it on the pullback at 30.55 and sets a stop way up here, so that the chances of him losing an R are, losing less than an R is good. Because he'll probably end up taking the stop. His thought was, I'll take the stop, I'll lower it to VWAP at some point. So, I'll lose about 0.7 Rs. It's pretty classic. That's very frequent what I do. Anytime I'm taking a trade, I place the stop where I'm likely going to lose less than an R on that trade. So then the trade rolls over a little bit. And what's great about that is you can actually see John got out of 100 shares. So however many he bought, doesn't really matter, but he got out of 100. So he's exiting a partial pretty much when that breakdown happened. So bang, roll over, bang. Exited a partial at this previous low. Trade breaks lower, and his ultimate target is, you see where it says the 20 EMA on the daily. So his ultimate target is way down here. And this little circle that he drew, well, I'm very proud of John because, him and I, we did a lot of coaching together. And he actually is one of the traders who came down to Nashville and spent an entire week with me trading and just honing in his craft. And this, a year ago, he would have exited for sure on this pullback, but he held through it. Held through this pullback. And then once the stock started interacting with the 10 EMA, he was talking about it, bouncing off the 10. He lowered his stop to 30.72. 30.72, again, definitely, now that he's exited a partial, it's mathematically impossible, more or less, for him to lose a full R of risk on this trade. So he lowers the stop, walks away from the computer for 30 minutes, and scroll back down. So here's his next update. So the next update on this one is he exited another 100 shares. So exiting another partial and then lowering his stop again. So lowering his stop one more time. This, I believe, is on the 15-minute chart. Let me see if that's accurate. Oops, sorry about that. Come back to this. So this is still the 5-minute chart. Okay, so still the 5-minute chart that we're looking at. Nice little breakdown. And again, so he exited a partial on his position, got out of his partial position, lowered his stop again. And then this was the trade that, I think this is the last update. He exited all of his position on this because it was just taking a long time to break down and he wanted to lock in that gain. So he said he got 0.9 Rs out of it. So really excited, locking in a little bit of a gain. And I say a little bit of a gain, I mean 0.93, that's a solid trade. So if we go back over to the chart, let's just look at the daily time frame and talk about why it was so nice. This really was a great trade. Here's the weekly chart. First takeaway on the weekly is just want to know this candle 34.14, this candle 34.30, which means it made a new high, which means that there are people out there who went long right there expecting AMD to go higher. Now I know it's none of you who subscribe at Real Life Trading, but people did go long there. So you have people trapped, bag holding, if you will. The other thing is you have a daily chart, white candle gapping up, so you know it's a retest gap. So it's coming down, retesting. My good buddy JL Derulo, aka JL Moosey, got in on AMD puts on that day and had a little curvature, a little bit of a breakdown. But what's interesting, most importantly, is if forgetting all that, you have a bearish candle, a little bit of a lower shadow, which means some people try to buy it, and you have this nice small gap down of around 3%. Opening below the 10 EMA, and it is a retest gap after all, taking out and trapping all the people who bought yesterday. Small little wick. I love this type of gap. It's actually one of my favorites to focus on. And then, on the 3-minute time frame, 3 or 5 minute doesn't really matter. You're most likely playing the breakdown of this really, really strong bullish candle that came in at open. Strong bullish candle, gets taken out, and then just trades right back into the previous support. So the low of this candle was 30.56, high of this candle 30.59. So that's where John Salvio got in bearish again on that retest, snagging that bearish gain right there and exiting his trade. And then we can see, I mean, his exit was pretty much the low of the day, getting out around here. Locking in his full gain, taking his R, just because it wasn't making new lows, it wasn't breaking down, it was taking a very long time to actually do anything, and he was in the trade for a good solid 2 hours. So that's very common. So be in a trade for a period of time, it not really do very much. You're up on the trade, you're right at an R on the trade, so take it, lock it in, move on, and make those gains, baby. And then another trade that he placed, still same trade today, was Square. And he did say that he got out too early, but he's still quite happy with the trade setup. This is Square on a 3-minute time frame. So one of the things I like about this is you can see the flexibility of just changing to different time frames. The reason I say that's important is because too many people focus on the fact that, what time frame do I look at? The answer is just go through all the time frames until you see the patterns that look best to you, right? 3-minute, 5-minute, 15-minute. Later in the day, I look at a lot of the 15-minute time frames, but I will zoom into a 3-minute, 2-minute, 1-minute chart just to get an idea of what the candles look like, really, really small time frame. And, that's pretty much it. So John is looking at Square. So here's Square on the daily time frame. So John made a 1.3 Rs on the day. Very, very small gap. Right? But again, you can trade anything if the patterns are there. Trades moving up, moving up, moving up, trading down, trading higher, and you're going to retest a little bit. So we retested some today. We did gap down from yesterday. And then here's the 5-minute time frame. So pretty much what John played was he was just pulling up Square and just looking at patterns of weakness. Here was a little bit of a trend line right there on Square. Not that I don't think he necessarily drew that, but you had that little trend line. You had this resistance on Square coming in. You can see that there was this support right here based on this candle, this candle, this candle. And we really just trade sideways for the better part of 20 minutes. So what John did was just simply said, hey, I'm seeing the pattern, a lot of consolidation. I'm just going to get in below there, stop above there, and just take my profits down at this particular level. Now, he did say he did get out too early, which he did, but you'll notice that he was already in a trade on AMD. It was also a bearish trade on a day that really wasn't doing that much. So he wanted to make sure that he did not give back his profits, his realized gains on the day. So he got in bearish, lowered his stop. He marketed out of half right at this previous low so that he didn't give back any of his profits like a noob, as he mentioned. And his ultimate target was 71.09. And I don't think low of this candle was, let's see, 71.28. So, I mean, again, not quite getting to the target, and that's okay. That'll happen pretty frequently. But getting his stop, you can see his new stop loss. He lowered his stop, and I believe he got trailed out with this little upper shadow right here. So making half an R on Square is not a bad thing at all. Not bad one bit. Realistically, very, very small pattern. Looking at it, seeing how to approach it. The big takeaway on that one is just this little level of support. I think you played that one well, and for me, the way I would have played it is if I was playing Square, I would have exited everything right here rather than just half of my position, only because there was no real gap on the daily chart on Square. Not a lot of people trapped, not a lot of people panicking, not a lot of people just super excited about what it's doing. Just a common pattern intraday that just kind of broke down quickly. Now again, I didn't take Square today, but if I would have, I think that's what I would have done, is just simply exited everything, taken it 0.7 Rs, really quick breakdown, and would have been done for the day. So John, congrats on a 1.3 R day and for being profitable so far with real money in the month of June. Really exciting stuff. It was a slower week this particular week, but at some point the markets will begin to pick up some steam, and it's my thought process that that steam will be bullish steam. We'll see though. I don't know. High wave, doji candle on the spiders. Interesting to see how it plays out. Here's your hourly chart, and the hourly chart with the 100 simple moving average on looks like it's going to slowly press higher, potentially. And tomorrow, which is Sunday night on the futures, if we trade down into here, I'll look for a quick little bounce at about 287 on the SPY, which will be about 287 on the E-minis. Come back over here. Very similar pattern. Yep, so I'll just be hanging out. 2865 and some change. That's the spot a lot of stops are going to be placed at, so I'll be looking at a long around there Sunday night if we gap down or trade down. Otherwise, I'll just slowly keep an eye out on a bullish trend as it's likely forming here, trading sideways, and then eventually most likely will get pressed a little bit higher. My friend, I hope this review on both Square and AMD was useful. This particular video has enough information in it by itself for you to learn and understand and appreciate how to day trade the U.S. stock market effectively and make money every single day. Feel free to watch as many times as you need to. Share it with friends and family because there's a lot of content in this video alone, and it's entirely free. I'll be back on Monday with a stock review where I will look at your requests and look at some trades that are setting up. Have a great weekend. I'm going to be hitting the gym starting tonight for about 40 hours. It's going to be an intense session. I'm getting ready for a massively difficult physical challenge towards the end of August. More info on that soon. Ladies and gentlemen, you rock. Have a good weekend. Bye.